How much do you love yourself? Because if you understand the value of self-love, you'll never be friends with those types of people. Most of the people out here are running around empty. They have no sense of self, no sense of self-love. When I say self-love, it has nothing to do with celebrity, money, materialistic things, or any of the superficial things that one might assume could make you love yourself even more. Self-love is a matter of knowing your value. It's about saying, I don't have to be around these people or in these types of environments and situations in order for me to finally see the value in myself. I love me independent of you loving me. I believe in me. I know my self-worth. I am here and I have a purpose. There is no value in having wisdom, knowledge, or spirituality if you don't recognize your own worth. Every day I am a work in progress. A person who can forgive nothing is a person who is totally destroyed psychologically and emotionally. Forgive your parents. Forgive any relationship that you ever had that didn't work out. Forgive everyone else in your life that has ever hurt you in any way. And forgive yourself. Forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could be any. I think for myself, and I know many of you feel the same way, that forgiving means accepting what has happened to you. It is accepting that it has happened, not accepting that it was okay for it to happen. It is accepting that it has happened and asking, now, what do I do about it? Forgiving is giving up the hope, not holding on, hoping or wishing that it could have been any other way than it actually was. When I got that, I think it took me to the next level of being a better person, because I don't hold grudges for anything or any situation, and neither should you. It's letting go so that the past does not hold you prisoner or hostage. See, life is cyclical. You are not what is happening. Whatever experience you're having right now has not come to stay. It has come to pass. It's just going through. The biggest challenge is to know what's happening. This is a part of this thing we call life. This too shall pass. And maintaining perspective is crucial. You have to be willing to break from the past to have the future you so desperately desire. You have to have the courage to honor the past as it was, to forgive those who need to be forgiven, to forgive yourself, and to acknowledge that everything led you to this point now. Let it go and begin to focus on developing yourself. I say to you, you're going to have people do things to you, and things are going to happen to you. The most important thing to do is to harness your will, let it go, and move so you can grow and get on with your life. It doesn't matter what happens to you. What matters is what you are going to do about it. If you want to begin to move into your own personal greatness, if you want to really enjoy a happy, successful, healthy life, you've got to be willing to go against the tide. You've got to be willing to harness your will. As you're in the process of reinventing your life, write a description of the kind of person you want to be. What are the things that you must overcome? What qualities about your personality do you know you're going to have to change because those particular characteristics are liabilities to you? What are your assets? What are your strong points? Look at and evaluate yourself to make that determination. Another thing is that in order to get out of a rut, we need some coaching. Find some trusted critics, people that you know care about you and love you. Some things that keep us from growing and getting out of ruts include identifying with feedback. We take it personally when someone wants to give us feedback on where we are falling short and tell us about our blind spots. We want everything to be positive about us. We're not perfect. I have a friend who's a trusted critic. I don't like him, but I love him. He doesn't tell me the things I want to hear. He tells me what I need to hear so I can grow. It hurts when he puts me on the hot seat, but that's the only way I can grow. And I'm glad that he loves me enough to risk our friendship to tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. High performers are not dissatisfied strivers. They're not. They're happy. High performers are happier than their peers. We all believe that to get to the top, it's going to be lonely and we have to grind and kill ourselves to get there. That's completely wrong. And the data proves it worldwide. Right now, especially today, the grind on social media is so popular, but none of the top 15% of high performers worldwide identify with those words. We asked them, we did a whole keyword analysis. High performers explicitly say these are the 3 driving feelings: full engagement, joy, and confidence. That's what they relate to. It's a joyous journey, not a dissatisfied one. I had this conversation in my book because I kind of framed it this way. Each of these chapters opens with a vignette of somebody I worked with or a situation that I was in that demonstrated high performance in that particular situation. I was walking on a stage in front of thousands of people after a very famous musician had just spoken. That musician's secret to success was never settle. Never be satisfied. Always demand more. I was freaked out because my second slide, which was going to be on jumbotrons and 80-point text, was strive satisfied. I had to dispel this for all these thousands of people, but what I had to explain to them was not only the data, but also this. If you're never satisfied, what does that mean? If life is precious and you could be gone tomorrow, do you really want to think, I just never felt fulfilled? I never allowed myself to have a moment of cry. I never allowed myself to have a moment of peace. I never allowed myself to look at that and say, good job. That's not the way to live life. I think at a spiritual level, it's a bad move. This book doesn't go into a lot of that. It's more about the science and the heart stuff. But I think it's really important that people realize your job is to strive satisfied. If you strive satisfied more often, you will be more of a high performer. If you never give yourself credit, you're always beating up on yourself, always thinking that's not perfect enough. What's going to happen? Dissatisfied people burn out and quit more often than satisfied strivers. So take joy in the moment, engage with what you're doing, and allow credit and satisfaction to come in. You can always be improving, of course, but be improving joyfully. If you're improving joyfully, then you're learning. You feel curious, you feel engaged, and the joy is there. You'll get more confident because you're like, I'm going to learn through this anyway. This is all over social media right now, like grind or hustle. It's popular, and I see why that happens. I see why it's catchy. It's just not scientifically valid. Stop scaring yourself. How often do you terrorize yourself with your own thoughts? You get into absolute terror, and it's only coming from your thoughts. Sometimes it's an old family pattern. Sometimes we get new things. I would like people, when you have time, to make a list of your fears. Make a list of your fears, and then give yourself the opportunity to turn each fear into a positive affirmation. Remember, You are always in charge. One idle thought doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Thoughts are like drops of water. You drop a drop of water and it doesn't mean much. But if you keep dropping and keep dropping, you get a puddle on the floor, and then you can get a little pond and a lake, and finally you can create an ocean. With our own thoughts, we can drown in a sea of negativity, or we can float on the ocean of life. It's up to us. The thoughts we think accumulate. What sort of puddles are you standing in? Are you up to here, or are you trying to paddle? What are you doing to yourself? When we're willing to change our thinking, we can change our experiences. It doesn't matter if you've got a big puddle of negative thoughts. You can move over here and create a puddle of mindfulness and positive thoughts. You can always make changes. So, you want to turn those fear thoughts into positive affirmations and let them work for you. When we think we are unworthy, it means that for some reason we believe we have to prove we have a right to our space on the planet in life. As we are. Being who we are means that we will do all manner of wonderful things to prove we deserve to be here. Usually, some of the common things are we overcommit, overgive, overdo, overexcuse, overcompensate. And we stay in difficult, desperate, hurtful, harmful situations much longer than it is wise or productive to do so. Self-worth is what you expect from the world in response to who you are. It's very different from value. Self-value means how you hold yourself within yourself and what you expect as a result. If you're not holding yourself within yourself as worthy, then what you expect from the world is surely going to hurt you. This is what you're going to do. You are literally going to dump out everything that's in your head onto this piece of paper. Every concern, every worry, every to-do, everything that's bothering you that you're thinking about. For some people, especially those experiencing way too much pressure, that pressure is often just an imbalance in perspective. Discipline is a matter of the imposition of order, and order is necessary, especially for people who are hopeless and nihilistic. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great. Most people do it for survival. We need to feed our families, but to wake up with my feet and fingers tingling and say, wow, I have this to do, I have that to do today, is an amazing feeling, and I don't take it for granted. You're going to have a hard time thinking about all the options, and you're going to be really attached emotionally. A lot of us know that we can get over here. But over here, man, this is much better because I've got to go through this journey that is not fun. Discomfort is your friend, it really is. Discomfort and not being happy and content with certain situations in life or certain feelings in life are massive motivators. They are amazing at facilitating change. Everything else is secondary. Stay hungry, stay foolish was their farewell message as they signed off. I've always wished that for myself. It is scary, I will always say that, especially in business, because it's a very scary place to be. It changes, it goes up and down, it has so many ups and downs. To be successful, you have to be able to walk away from a deal. If you want it bad enough, then people are going to give it to you at a discount. If you think it sucks when it's bad, you have losing pessimistic DNA. If you think it's awesome and phenomenal, you have optimistic winning DNA, and I believe that to be true. That's where we're at. That's why people have to understand what is in us. We have no idea until we start trying hard. Is it as enjoyable as it can be? We all know that there's a spectrum for that enjoyability. We've all had times in our life where it's not been so great, and then times when everything came together. What a great day! Let's make more of those. The discipline part you don't hear a lot about is the things people do when nobody else sees. That's when you win.